Hello, hello. Hello, hello. What a day. What a day, ladies. Okay. Now, make sure I have all my notes. I have many things to say. um, Hello, Christian. Hello, Courtney. Hello, darlings. All right. So, hey, Denisha. So, as those of you who are on my mailing list got the notification I was going live, and I did tell y'all that we're about to have church. We about to have some church. Some of y'all gonna be feeling great. Some of y'all gonna be a little shook, but you're gonna feel great at the end. Some of y'all gonna click off and unfriend me, and that's fine too. That's totally fine. Now, I shared an article earlier today that I want to go through with you all. Hey, Rashonda. Hey, honey. That I want to go through with you all, and let's get started because I got a lot to say, and I need to go to bed. But we got to have this conversation tonight because I have so much to do, and I don't know if I'll get to do live tomorrow. And I really want to talk about this now. Okay. So to continue the conversation that we had the other day when I was directing y'all to, some evidence that the tide was turning and what we needed to be thinking about and what we needed to be doing, and how if you're not already moving differently, you need to move differently yesterday. And here's more evidence. So this is in the Wall Street Journal this morning. It's titled, "Workers Don't Feel Quite as Powerful as They Used to. Fears of an economic downturn are shaking some people's career confidence, driving them towards stable jobs and even back to offices." This is really important, ladies, because the last 2 years, people have been hyped up. Like our bad behavior was totally rewarded these past 2 years. Just human beings in general. And there were a few that were like, you better stay on it. Don't get caught up. My mentor was one of those people that said, you better keep your head down and handle your business and prepare and don't get slack, don't get lax. And I didn't. And thank you. See what happens when you listen to Wisdom Boy, because I tell you, and some of y'all listen too, because I had just had my baby when all this stuff popped off. And I felt so strongly. I was home with my baby and I felt so strongly about what happened. I created 2 courses at the same time. And the only reason I realized that is because I was transferring, like I told y'all, I'm migrating all this stuff. And so I'm re-listening to some of the recordings and I'm looking at the work samples and everything, and I can hear my baby in the background. I'm like, oh my God, I had a baby on the breast and I taught these 2 classes. And these were like, this was like a good, the output was about, 40 hours total, but it was probably like 120 hours on me because I needed to really prepare and create a syllabus for both of those programs and everything. And I told a lot of ladies, like, look, if y'all don't have a skill set yet, let's talk about it. Let's do it. I worked out plans. I did everything I could to get the plan out there. And a couple of y'all listened. And if y'all want to, raise your hand on here, I would be honored. But I've had girls who listened and they changed the game. They changed their career. They changed how they were moving, and they got to move to totally different areas, safer cities, away from their crazy families, much better jobs. Hell, some of them stopped coming on Facebook. Like they emailed me and let me know how they're doing, but it was like, I don't need to be on here no more. I'm in a great role. I'm making great money. I'm around awesome people now. I'm doing my thing. So if you didn't do that yet, there's still the time is now. I'm not even going to say there's still time, because actually there's not. And we're going to see why that there's not. Like you got to make a change now. So even if you want to do other things and listen to this in the background, just please listen. This is really important, ladies. And I'm sorry that I'm not entertaining. I don't know nothing about the celebrities and all that other gossip shit, but this is what we need to be talking about. So let's get started. Becca Smith will be back to work in no time. Laid off from her sales position at a startup a couple of weeks ago, she says she's received more than a dozen inquiries from recruiters in response to a LinkedIn post about her job loss. Yet something has changed since the 40-year-old Indiana mother started at her former employer last summer. Back then, she was determined to work from home and felt sure she could get her way. Y'all remember when I showed y'all that video the other day with Patrick Bet-David, and he was saying that because of the pandemic that, the employees had the upper hand, and, it really created, this, a new dynamic. So and this is totally understandable. This is human, right? So anyway, she also had the confidence to join a fledgling business amid a roaring economy. No more. I will give priority to larger, more established companies for this job search, says Ms. Smith, whose old company was a venture funded and cut about 1/3 of the team to conserve cash. She adds that she will consider reporting to an office part-time. She'd also like her next job to involve selling a product customers need even in bad times, rather than a luxury that could get cut from the budget when the money is short. So now she's getting practical, and this is what people are starting to do. Yes, Denisha, I'm so glad that you did get in where you fit in, honey. You are like my little star student, girl. You did it. You moved, and it was hard, and you still did it. It looked impossible, and you still did it. So let's keep going. Though the labor market remains tight and many people still have leverage to negotiate high salaries and remote accommodation, look at this, some are bracing for a day when things won't be so great. As unemployment claims tick higher and business leaders like Elon Musk, and we're going to talk about him in a few minutes, try to reassert their in-office dominance, workers are showing a little less swagger and looking for more stability than they did just a few months ago. This shit changes very quickly, ladies. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome, Denisha. It's a strange limbo. Working conditions are about as good as they've ever been for many people, and office workers' complaints can seem petty by historical standards. Imagine your 2019 self griping about being required to work in an office a few days a month. Yet a loss of total remote freedom coupled with sobering economic forecasts can make it feel like workers' power is slipping away. Some companies sense the change and are wresting back more control over how much they cater to employees. Boston Properties CEO Thomas says his tenants are growing bolder about office callbacks. The national office occupancy rate hit 44% last week, according to an estimate by Castle Systems, which tracks building access card swipes. So they can tell how many more people are going into the office because they're swiping their employee IDs. So the data is not lying, right? That is the highest since the onset of the pandemic. Employers fear that workers will flee for other jobs if told to return their desks is beginning to subside. We're going to see it, and it happened today. So this came out this morning, and I'm going to show y'all what else happened today. All right. So today is the damn day. All right. Some companies are doing layoffs, and that puts pressure on people to get back to the office and stay closer to the senior leaders. What did I tell y'all in my Career Alchemy leadership business analyst leadership track program? That leadership needs to see your face. Even if you do negotiate a remote agreement, don't be home all the time. I told y'all I negotiated a work remote agreement before any of this. I was home by the time the pandemic hit, right? So I had negotiated a remote agreement, but I still always came into the office a few times a week, especially for crucial meetings because of the level I was on. You have to be seen by senior leadership. So now, they're feeling the pressure. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said repeatedly that she doesn't expect the U.S. economy to fall into another recession, but such reassurances wouldn't seem necessary if not for credible concerns. However, it might not take the R word to spook workers. Career coach Phil Rosenberg says his calendar is filling up with clients who worry it's now or never, or not for a while at least, to snag a job with the pay and flexibility they want. People are trying to land before the next downturn, he says. Okay. So y'all can read this. I'll put it. Let me put it in the. I'll put it in the comments. You can read it yourself. Check it out. Okay. This is a pulse on the market, the job market. Okay. Taking a new job can be risky in the event of a downturn. Some businesses take a last in, first out approach to downsizing. As the pandemic fades, companies that grew quickly when people were mostly homebound could cut back as life normalizes. Peloton, Netflix, and Carvana already have laid off staff this year. If I'm a job seeker these days and I'm smart, I'm considering the business. Is it a business that just developed because of COVID? Says Stacy Holler, a career counselor at resumebuilder.com. For now, though, the labor market still favors workers, especially in certain industries. Competition for talent remains intense in biotech. Tech workers, too, enjoy considerable bargaining power, though some have been humbled by the sector's volatile stock market performance, and that is going to change as well. Some of those tech roles are going to go away. We're going to talk about that. Oh, yeah, okay. Denisha says you can click the Wall Street Journal article and go into airplane mode on your phone to read the article without paying for a subscription. Just a little trick. But ladies, you do need to have a Wall Street Journal subscription eventually, okay? The hiring dynamic for most of the 2 years has been bonkers, he says. Prospects frequently zoomed into job interviews with a confidence bordering on arrogance and scoffed when told that Mr. Jones' company, Bambee, is office-centric. Lately, the conversations have changed. Now, what candidates are asking is if the company has the financial posture to survive a recession. It's quite telling. They're thinking about security over flexibility. All right. Security over flexibility. Okay. Oh, that's okay, Denisha. Yeah, you can pause your membership sometimes with them if you need to, but it's just good to have, but just depends on what's going on in life, right? Okay, but anyway, so I already put the link in there. Y'all check that article out. Next up, the big thing that I mentioned in my email to y'all, to my private list members. We about to watch something real interesting. This came out today. This is a leaked video of today's meeting, the all hands meeting at Twitter. So for those of y'all who are not familiar, an all hands meeting are meetings in corporate where everybody needs to show up. All parts of the organization need to show up to listen. Sometimes they're called all hands. Sometimes you have a town hall meeting. Well, I will say the difference between town halls, sometimes they can kind of break it out, town hall morning, one group of folks come, all hands, everybody has to be at that one meeting. So this was Elon Musk's very first all hands Twitter meeting. And in this meeting, he, so I think this is an HR lady, and she actually got busted talking ish about him. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. In this meeting, the employees were allowed to send her questions in the chat, and she would ask Elon the questions, right? Let's listen to this conversation, ladies.
Twitter has a lot of incredible, smart, talented people.
Hold on. Can y'all hear that, first of all? Just put just say I can hear or something, because I don't know. I might have to turn it up a little bit. So they're asking Elon some questions. I want you to listen. You can't hear it. Okay, it's a little low. Let me turn it up. It's okay. So they're asking him questions. And hold on. Okay, I need some more room here. Okay. They're asking questions and he's answering. I want you to hear okay, Karen, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Angela. How you doing, honey? So I want you to hear the energy of the questions, and I want you to hear the energy of his response. And I want you to tell me if you hear something interesting. All right. I turned it up. Now let's go for it.
Specifically, but given you mentioned trust, I wanted to ask one of the employee questions around trust.
Oops, hold on.
They said Twitter has.
Is that any better? First of all, was that better? Go a little bit. I went back a little bit too far. 13. Okay, great.
That about someone who's not verified. So that there will still be full read access to the system, still be full write access to the system, but you essentially any tweets or actions will be prioritized according to who's verified, and then a very large number of people can be verified.
I'm going to have a couple of follow-up questions on this specifically, but given you mentioned trust, I wanted to ask one of the employee questions around trust. They said Twitter has a lot of incredible, smart, talented people. What can we do to earn your trust, and what are you going to do to earn ours?
I think I don't know, trust is as trust does.
You hear that? You hear that, ladies? So she's saying, people are real slick with their disrespect, and you got to watch it. And this is one thing that, especially you ladies who are on the leadership track in any way, or gonna be a boss in any way. And boss is not a bad word, ladies. You better learn how to be a damn boss, or somebody gonna be bossing you. You can be a boss and still be feminine. People are real slick with their disrespect, so they'll try to say something slick on the front end, like they trying to be friendly, but really on the back end, they're disrespecting. So she said, she read the question, and the person basically said, since you're new leadership and you're bringing in a new dynamic, how can we earn your trust, and what are you going to do to earn our trust? You hear that? That's slick. And if any of you ladies do things like that, please stop it. Because people who are true leaders and people who have wisdom and have done some things and seen some things, they know what you're doing, right? Well, what did he say? Thank you, Denisha. Trust is as trust does. Don't be talking about how I'm going to earn your trust. This company's not even profitable. Why y'all talking shit? Let's keep going.
I tend to be extremely literal in what I say.
Thank you, Anomi. Yes, honey.
Aspirationally, one does not need to read between the lines. One can simply read the lines. So the things that I've said about Twitter, I think, need to happen in order for it to be, to really go to the next level. I mean, I think the potential is there for Twitter to have be accessible to an order of magnitude more people, and for a lot more people to find it useful. Not currently, I guess it would be 4% of the world or something like that. I don't know, 4 or 5% of the world optimistically is finding Twitter useful. Like maybe 50% of the world could find Twitter useful.
So he's got a very big vision, because he knows what Twitter could be if it wasn't so many silly bastards on there, right? I don't go on Twitter. I don't have a Twitter. I think I tried to open one like years ago, and I was like, oh, this is not healthy. This is not a good place, right? And it's a shame, because Twitter is, it is very powerful, but the stuff that's going on over there, that shit needed to cleanse. Tiffany, here you go. That's Bay. He's another one with that deep voice. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're going to change Twitter. I'm like, yeah, okay. I like that. Yes, Holly, it is. Yes, it is, honey. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have one either. Yeah, you don't. You ain't missing nothing.
So I want to take whatever actions would lead to that. And
So he's saying this has a very low number of actual active users, and I'm going to do what's necessary to change that. So as opposed to 4% of the population using it, I'd love to see it at 50. Now, probably never get to 50, but hell, if it can get to 10 or 12 and it can be, a little bit more respectful, and cleaned up. Twitter's too good. Courtney, you have one but you don't interact? Yeah. Okay.
I'm very much like it's I would say essentially a trust thing. It's like if somebody's getting useful things done, then that's great. But if they're not getting useful things done, then I'm like, okay, why are they at the company?
Boom. You hear that? If somebody's getting useful things done, that's great. But if they're not, I'm like, why are they at the company? See, we think this is just about Elon and Twitter. It's not. First of all, this is the richest man on the planet at this point, I think. And probably one of the most brilliant. But second of all, he's pretty much giving the manual for how the rest of leadership in the Fortune 500 companies can converse with employees, with the workforce now. This is big, y'all.
So it's really just like we need to improve the core technology, improve the design, and so
Trust emerges from that.
yeah, I mean trust. Yes, it's not like I'd say trust is not it's not exactly it's like if somebody's getting stuff done, great, I love them, and if they're not, I don't like then I do not love them.
I would love to stay on this topic of employees and how we work. So distributed work is something that has been core to our strategy.
Yes, Tiffany.
Most of our people work in a hybrid model. About 1,500 people
Yes.
work remote full time. We know that you recently sent a communication to Tesla executives about remote work. Can you share what your point of view is on remote work and specifically for Twitter?
Yeah. So now Tesla makes cars, and you cannot make cars remotely. Obviously, you have to make cars in a big factory.
Yes, Denisha. See, you got it. She don't like him. Like I think that she was one of the execs that it was leaked that she was just talking so bad about this man. But you can feel her energy in this. Like when I watched this morning, I was like, this little bitch. Like she does, but she's doing that professional passive aggressive thing, Hello. If everyone follows his lead in doing this, folks in trouble.
And the supply chain, and
Hold on, let me go back like 10 seconds.
We know that you recently sent a communication to Tesla executives about remote work. Can you share what your point of view is on remote work and specifically for Twitter?
Yeah. So now Tesla makes cars, and you cannot make cars remotely. Obviously, you have to make cars in a big factory, and the supply chain, and you have to bring in the parts and assemble them, and then transport the car to the owner. All of these things must be done in person because it's physically impossible to do them remotely. There are some roles at Tesla where the work can be done remotely, like say software or design, and so that I think that's still a case where you want to aspire to do things in person. But if somebody is exceptional at their job, then it's possible for them to be effective even working remotely. So,
what did he just say? If someone is exceptional at their job, it's possible for them to do their job remotely. Let's keep going. He ain't done. Yeah, Courtney. Yeah, her attitude, her energy is so stank. So stank. It's really bad.
With Tesla, I simply asked for a list, that the manager has to confirm that.
Come on, Holly.
They're an excellent contributor, and if they do, they're allowed to work remotely.
Yes.
So it's pretty basic, I think. There is a.
He's just telling it like it is. Like, look, this is no nonsense. If you're the type of person that is so thorough and so excellent that I know you're going to be a rock star, even if you do working remotely, hell yeah, you can work remotely. But you know what? An exceptional person still comes into the office. So one component of being exceptional is understanding that sometimes you do need to go in person and look face to face and have those conversations in the hallway and have those conversations at happy hour after work. Exceptional people know the game like that. So of course he don't have Courtney, no, sorry. Of course he doesn't have a problem with an exceptional person working remote because that person's still going to come in sometimes at least.
I hit one takes remotely because they've just reduced esprit de corps, and it's hard to if you're just there's really it kind of matters to be in person.
Yes, it matters to be in person. I told y'all that. Some of y'all took my course, y'all got remote jobs, and I said, okay, what days are you going in? You still need to go in sometimes. Oh, I really haven't gone in. I'm like, you better carry your ass in there, because now that the tide is turning, they don't know you. They haven't seen your face. They haven't shared a lunch with you. You haven't walked in the hallway and shared a joke or had a glance across the, conference room. And no, chatting in Zoom is not the same. I'm so sorry. So sorry. He said, what? You lose esprit de corps. What does esprit de corps mean? Let's look it up. A feeling of pride, fellowship, and common loyalty shared by the members of a particular group. When you are working on something, you need to have some type of pride and ownership around what you're working on. If you're just at home, you get self-absorbed. You get into your head. You get slack. Most people get slack. And that's just the truth. That's just the truth about human nature. If we don't ever see each other, I don't feel as strongly to work with you. Holly says, I went to work every day during the pandemic and my boss gave me the option to work remote. Good for you, Holly. See, and that's going to pay off, right? You watch. Hey, oh, you just saw the email? Okay. Yep. We're not halfway through, but you can go back and listen to the replay. So hate me, I don't care. So you hate me, I don't care. It's funny. Yes, Tiffany, hybrid model. Hybrid model is great. I think hybrid model is the way to go, because you do need time to work remote because you have less interruptions. You just need to be heads down. Sometimes you're not feeling great. Remote work is fabulous. I always negotiated a remote option because there's no way I could go in every day, just the way I work and the way I like to get things done. But I was a laser. And this was before any pandemic, anything. So that's how I was able to have 2 babies and continuously get promoted and then say, okay, well, I'm going, I'm not working no more. And they say, well, what can we work out? And I say, well, I'll be back, and help y'all for a couple months. And I take my ass back home and be with my kids. Right. So when you come with that type of energy, when you come with that type of work ethic, people remember you. They want to work with you. They're going to call you. I still get called. Somebody from one of my teams calls or texts me once a week. But it's not just because I did great work. I did, but I built relationships with those people. I actually like the people I work with. I have them over for dinner sometimes. I have them over for a glass of wine sometimes. I created fellowship with the good people, the people who had good energy at my job. I built relationships with those people. You can't do that just on a Zoom. You can never do that. I know, Tiffany, I know you're not going to do it. I don't, every day is not is not necessary for a lot of people. But like he said, you know, for building cars, absolutely. When I was in my MBA program in Germany, I had to go to Mercedes-Benz plant. And that was amazing watching them build Mercedes-Benz. I was so impressed. You can't do what those people were doing from home. Just the way they had to look. And the Germans are so impressive with this. I mean, the level of precision when it comes to those machines, it's incredible. Right, Tiffany, you produce. You don't got to go in every day. And the fact that you don't go in every day allows you to produce at the level that you produce at. Good night, Tiffany. Courtney says, we are allowed to work 1 day a week from home. I asked for 2 more days due to the gas prices. No answer yet. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. All right.
At least some of the time. So, like one of the things I said, even if somebody's working remotely, they got to show up at the office occasionally so that they recognize their colleagues and don't have, you don't walk down the street and pass your colleague and you don't recognize them. That would not be good.
No, I think this is super clarifying and resonates with us and entirely in terms of how we work. So thank you for clarifying that topic. It's really important to us. I would like to keep on the topic of employees and some of the questions that have come through. This one's on compensation and benefits. Most people, especially obviously here, are used to working for a public company. Can you talk a little bit about how you compensate folks at SpaceX as a private company? How does it work and what approach you plan to take at Twitter as a private company?
Oh, yes. This is the other thing I wanted to say. I think a lot of companies are probably going to end up going private because when you take a company public, you just got you have to deal with a lot more of these shenanigans, these social shenanigans. And I think that's also going to be in the future. There's going to be people either going private or the public companies going away and being replaced by private entities. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. So SpaceX, I think, operates in the best of both worlds where stock and options are issued to everyone, but we don't have all the challenges of being a publicly traded company where the stock can be up and down from one day to the next. It would be quite a distraction. And where one is at the mercy of short sellers and class action lawsuits and just generally, it's like being in the stockade, public stockade, and they just throw tomatoes at you all day. So SpaceX still allows liquidity, and so every 6 months there's a liquidity event at SpaceX, and people have the opportunity to sell their shares, and that's worked very well for the whole life of the company. So I think something like that would make sense at Twitter. So it'd still be stock and options, everything, and it'd just be
right, Angela. Yeah. So you go on site for client meetings, right? So you go on site for the important meetings that you need face to face, right? And that makes sense because if I have a client, if I'm a client of somebody, I want to go sit with the vendor, with my relationship manager, I don't want to do a Zoom. If my family business is paying you X amount of dollars, paying your company X amount of dollars, I expect to sit with a relationship manager and look them in the face. You're not going to be treating me like nothing and just saying, I'm going to call you real quick. We're going to jump on a Zoom real quick. So let's keep going.
Liquidity events twice a year.
Oh, sorry, ladies. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I muted myself because the baby started crying. Hold on. Come on. Okay. Let me go back a few seconds. Sorry about that. 19. Let's go back here.
To sell their shares. And that's worked very well for the whole life of the company. So I think something like that would make sense at Twitter. So it'd still be stock and options, everything, and there'd just be liquidity events twice a year.
Great, and thanks. We are getting some real-time feedback on the remote work question, so I just want to make sure I follow up.
Sure.
Your approach to remote work and distributed work at Twitter, is that what I'm hearing from you is that you are supportive of remote and distributed work as it is productive and meaningful, and people show up when it's important and depending on their jobs. Is that an accurate reflection?
Yeah, I mean, the bias definitely needs to be strongly towards working in person. But if somebody is exceptional, then remote work can be okay. But if their work output is exceptional, then remote work is fine. There is some communication, impact that one takes when working remotely, because if you're with people, and they're just a few desks away, it's very easy to communicate in real time. But it's much harder to do that if you're in different physical locations. So,
Right. Once again, what word does he continue to use? Exceptional. Exceptional. If you are exceptional, you can write your ticket. Baby, that's why this is called the Exceptional Woman School. Because that's how you write your ticket for life, is by being exceptional, by telling yourself the truth. It doesn't matter if I like it. It doesn't matter if we like what he is saying. This is what it is, right? That is part of being an exceptional person is, look, sometimes there's going to be things I do not like and I do not agree with, but them's the rules. And if I want to be successful, I have to abide by the rules of engagement. It doesn't matter if I like it. That was one of the biggest things that I think a lot of ladies struggle with in the Career Alchemy program, because some of the stuff I said, I know it pissed some people were pissed at some of the things that I taught in that program for like a week or two. And I said, good, be pissed at me right now so you can work through all that right now. So when you get to leadership, when somebody says what I'm preparing you for right now, you know what to do and you know how to respond and you can handle it. Because see, this is the other thing. If you're always protected from everything that offends you and everything that triggers you, you are so easy to play and manipulate. I can knock you off your square anytime. If you are one of these people that's hypersensitive and always looking for a microaggression, and you come into a meeting, there are people there who will eat you alive in the most professional way. The most professional way. So let's keep going because I don't want to start preaching yet. I got some more stuff to share.
I'm going to emphasize that the bias is very much towards influence work. It's just that it would obviously be insane if someone is excellent at what they do, but can only work remotely, to then fire them even though they're doing excellent work would be insane. So I'm definitely not in favor of things that are mad. I'm in favor of things that build the business and make it better.
Thank you. Question about layoffs. We received several questions from employees on this point. Obviously, they've read about the recent layoffs at Tesla. Can you speak to how you're thinking about layoffs at Twitter?
Well, I think it depends on.
Hold on, what y'all think he gonna say? She said, "Can you tell us about how you're thinking about the layoffs at Twitter?" What you think? What do y'all think he's gonna say? 10 seconds. Okay. Holly, something about exceptional. Layoffs are coming. Depends on the bottom line. Okay, let's see.
The company does need to get healthy. So right now the costs exceed the revenue. So that's not a great situation to be in.
All right, Sahara, you got it. What did he say? He said the company needs to get healthy. The costs exceed the revenue. Your highest costs are employees. I have W-2 employees. They're expensive. I'm not even going to start. Go ahead.
And so there would have to be some rationalization of headcount and expenses to have revenue be greater than cost. Otherwise, Twitter is simply not viable, or can't grow. So I think it would just be dependent on but like I said, anyone who's like obviously like a significant contributor should have nothing to worry about. Like I'm not.
He's telling you again, if you're a significant contributor, don't worry about it. You're good. But here's the thing, and I've asked this before. How do you know that you are a significant contributor? Right. How do you know that you're a significant contributor? How do you know that you're adding value at the level that you think you're adding it? If no one is ever allowed to tell you anything that hurts your feelings, that's how you grow. It stings. Correction stings. It does not feel good. I mean, sometimes it's fine. You accept it. But sometimes it stings. So if nobody's ever allowed to tell you anything that stings without you running to HR, running to social media and acting a damn fool, how do you know what you deliver, what value you add? You have no idea. And nobody's allowed to tell you, so everybody's lying. But guess what? The money don't lie. The numbers don't lie. And now, once again, like I told y'all, now that they talk about recession, when that report comes out in 15 days, and if it says recession, baby, you better believe you're gonna find out who's who.
I do not take actions which are destructive to the health of the company.
Elon, question connected to that. As you're obviously learning and gaining information as we get closer to this deal being closed, what do you feel that you have sort of deep understanding and grasp of, and what are the areas that you feel you want to dive much more deeper on to understand and learn?
Was that shade, y'all? This is a case study as well. Was that shade? Because that's her question. She didn't read that out the chat. That's her question. Yes, it was. Why was it shade, Denisha? What was the undertone of what she said? Let's listen to it again. The other reason you got to watch this is you got to watch this in yourself, ladies. I used to be like this. I used to be that little petty, little bitchy, petty, passive aggressive. So horrible. Hey, Catherine.
Elon, question connected to that. As you're obviously learning and gaining information as we get closer to this deal being closed, what do you feel that you have sort of deep understanding and grasp of, and what are the areas that you feel you want to dive much more deeper on to understand and learn?
That's right, Anisha, you got it.
Well, I have a great understanding of the product, because I use Twitter every day practically, and I think I've got a really good understanding of how Twitter works from a product standpoint. What I have less of an understanding of is, like this sort of bot spam or
yes, she is.
Multi-user account. Basically, anything
yes, she is, honey.
That's the monetizable daily user number that's probably my biggest concern, because that's really what.
She is bold. She is bold. She's very bold. Yes, Karen. Implying he doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't have information, is uninformed. Yes, Rashonda. Oops. Questioning his level of understanding. Yep. Why is she questioning him? She doesn't have the job he does. She ain't got the money mindset he does. Yep. Yes. Yes. What was his response, though? What did he say? Because he knows what she's doing. He knows exactly what she's doing. Is he flustered?
Drives advertising revenue as well as subscription revenue. And really, Twitter's revenue is going to be subscription, spam, or multi-user account. Basically, anything that affects the every day.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Elon, question connected to that. As you're obviously learning and gaining information as we get closer to this deal being closed, what do you feel that you have sort of deep understanding and grasp of, and what are the areas that you feel you want to dive much more deeper on to understand and learn?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a great understanding of the product because I use Twitter every day practically.
So he's the end user. I am the end user. So I understand it perfectly from an end user perspective. And what else, Mr. Musk? Let's keep going.
And I think I've got a really good understanding of how Twitter works from a product standpoint. What I have less of an understanding of.
He knows how Twitter works from a product standpoint because he used his AI to figure out that they had a lot more bots than they let on. Right? Which allowed him to negotiate the price down and some other stuff. Let's keep going.
Is like this sort of bot spam or multi-user account. Basically, anything that affects the monetizable daily user number that's probably my biggest concern.
Right. So he's saying, he's saying there's a bunch of bots, but he also is saying, let's say that it's not, that they're not bots. Let's say it's one person with 14 damn accounts, which a lot of people do. Well, we can only make money on that person one time because it's one person, So if I'm a business and I want to advertise on Twitter, and Twitter tells me they have 42,000 people in the demographic that I'm trying to target, and I pay them to show this to 42,000 people, but really the average user has 14 different accounts. Am I getting what I'm paying for? Or am I really getting 3,000 people in the demographic? And only a portion of those people are going to see it. You can't make money like that. All right.
Because that's really what drives advertising revenue as well as subscription revenue.
Yeah, fraud.
And really, Twitter's revenue is going to be subscription, advertising. I think payments would be an interesting thing to do as well. But all of those things are only relevant as a function of how many unique humans are on the system.
Humans are on the system, which there are not.
That's my biggest concern, and that's what I've said publicly as well. Like I said, I try to be as literal as possible.
Okay, almost done, y'all.
As we think about obviously the product and the service and serving customers all around the world, clearly it's critical and essential for us to serve diverse communities.
It's critical and existential for us to serve diverse communities. What's she about to do? What's she about to try to do? Guess, y'all know what she about to do.
All people, as you said earlier. So inclusion and diversity is obviously core and central to our work at Twitter, both our employees and the customers that we serve. You've been vocal on a variety of different topics and issues that relate to inclusion and diversity. Can you talk about both your views and also your commitment to creating a diverse and inclusive workplace and also a service where everyone can feel included and safe?
Everybody, stop what you're doing and listen to what he's about to say. She's asking him about diversity and inclusion. Y'all listen to what he's about to say, because this is what I'm talking about. The tide is turning and you need to pay attention. Listen.
To be clear, if everyone talks about said about Twitter as a whole. Like, there's 8 billion people in the world. There's sort of, I'm told there's 200 million, daily users of Twitter. That's a 7.8 billion person gap. So I think we really want to have, I don't know, at least 1 billion people on Twitter, maybe more. As many people as we can possibly get on Twitter. So that, I think, is the most inclusive definition of inclusiveness.
Okay, let's keep going. All right. So he's saying it's 8 billion people here on the earth. 200 million. You hear what he said? See, he's slick too. I'm told there's 200 million active users. I'm told that. I don't believe that. I'm told there's 200 million active users, meaning unique users. And if we get to at least 1 billion, that's going to be plenty diverse. Let's keep going.
Like all humans.
All humans are diverse. Uh-oh, y'all. Here we go.
So, that's important. From a company standpoint, I believe in a sort of strict meritocracy. So whatever.
What did he say? What did he say? Y'all better. I'm holding this baby, so I can't jump up and down like I want to. Because I said this 2 years ago. Yes, I'm blowing my own horn. I believe in a strict meritocracy. You're not going to play with him. You're not going to use your words, your magic words on him. He's not playing. Oh, Holly, they already on it, I'm sure. It don't matter, though. It doesn't matter. This is here. This is happening. Yes, he did, Rashonda.
Whoever's doing great work, great. They get more responsibility and authority, and that's that.
If you're doing great work, you get more responsibility and authority. That's it. I don't care who you like to go home with at night. I don't care who you identify as, what you identify as. I don't care. Do you do great work? You are welcome. Thank you, Rashonda. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what he's saying. Let me put that on the screen. Work and shut up. Because in a recession, we got to get... Oh, mommy, sorry. Go to sleep. In a recession, we ain't got time for the magic words. That's done. Y'all had a good time. Y'all did your thing. I hope you had a wonderful time. You showed out. Daddy's home. Okay? Yeah, Steve Jobs was like that. Steve Jobs didn't want to hear your bullshit. That's right. Yeah, she be telling me not to say something. She went right back to sleep. She said, "Don't say that," and then she went back to sleep. Mommy, sorry. Okay.
And I know you mentioned in some of our conversations about your I&D team at Tesla. They have an amazing I&D team here at Twitter as well. So continue on the journey together. I wanted to talk about content moderation. Go back to a number of the things that you said earlier. So this is one I'll take verbatim. So you've spoken a lot about the importance of free speech. Let's start with the U.S., where we have a strong tradition around this. And you touched on this earlier. A lot of what's called lawful but awful speach is allowed here in the United States, right? Animal abuse, footage, doxing, videos of sexual violence, etc. So allowing this type of content obviously could cause harm and make Twitter unusable for the broad audience that you're trying to reach. What is your approach to this type of content that's sort of legal but problematic as it relates to people?
Problematic. To me, when people say problematic now, in this context, it's things that I don't agree with, right? That's basically what they're saying. So if I don't agree with it, it's problematic. It's awful. It's lawful, but it's awful. So we shouldn't have it on there. Let's listen. Because it don't matter what I think. Let's listen to what Elon Musk says about this, because he's running the show now. It is, Denisha. It's over.
People actually using the service. How do you think about this tension?
As I said earlier, really, I think we should allow people to say what they want, post what they want within the bounds of the law. But that's different from them being able to reach people who don't want to be reached with that content. So if that content is offensive, then to people, those people will simply stop using Twitter. So it's important to make Twitter as attractive as possible, and really that means not showing people content that they would find hateful or offensive or simple. Even frankly, content they would find boring is not good.
Okay, so there it is. Look, we're gonna make it so if you don't like it, if it hurts your little feelings, you can just block that out. You can just not see that subject matter. But to not allow people to say things, he's not going to do that. Rashonda, what do you mean, honey? Censorship is coming. Censorship is all over Twitter. I mean, that's what Twitter is. You can't say anything. Like, I've seen people say that they got kicked out or locked out for some really, some unbelievable things. So what he's saying is I think he's taking less censorship. He is going to allow, and this is of course going to be, the standards are going to change depending on the region and the country. But if the speech is legally protected, he's going to allow it. And he's probably going to make it so a person can, you know how on Facebook you can, click on that thing and say, don't show me things from this person, or I don't want to see this person, or this person is not interesting, or this page is not interesting. You're just going to be able to do that. I don't know. Can you do that now on Twitter? Is anybody on Twitter? I don't know. Can't you do that now? I would think that you could do something like that now on all the platforms. I don't know. Okay. So he don't care. You if your feelings hurt, block it out and get over it and grow up. I got kicked off of Twitter years ago and I am so low key. So of course I opened a new account. That's what he's talking about, non-unique users. Oh, that's a great point. Hey, Carrie. Hey. Right. Oh, Dr. Angela, on Twitter, a person can control what they see. Okay. So folks just being busybodies and troublemakers, trying to mess with folks for saying things they don't agree with. Okay. That makes sense. Right. But Tammy, you're absolutely correct. That's another argument. Because if you keep shutting people down for saying something that somebody, doesn't agree with, especially somebody that works there doesn't agree with, then that means that really means that a person would have to come in and keep making profiles because they still want to be on Twitter. Some people would still want to be on Twitter, right? And now you have non-unique users with all these little side accounts because they're still trying to, be on Twitter, which of course is impacting revenue and impacting the ability. Oh my gosh, that's a great point. Okay, we're almost done with this. Like 60 seconds left.
See boring content. Unless we were talking about TikTok last night,
Mm-hmm.
and TikTok also does like a great job of making sure you are not bored. It does like feel like ADD, but like next level. But TikTok does a great job of making you not bored. I do find some of the videos offensive, I think, but they're not boring. So the folks read, how do we ensure people have?
And that's the other thing. That's a great point too. He says, I saw some things that I would find offensive, but they're not boring. A lot of people hate watch. Y'all. So that's another thing, right? So some folks ain't trying to. I watch so many different opinions across the board. I watch people. And sometimes I'm like, you sound crazy as hell, but I'm listening because maybe the way they present the argument is interesting. Maybe the way they present the argument is interesting. But you know, it has some holes in it. Maybe like, you know, I'm 70% there. I'm trying to listen to see if they can get me there the rest of the way. And some people I don't agree with, but I do like who they are as a person or a personality. And I still, you know, this is the other thing. You need to be exposed to other people's opinions. You have to build relationships with people who think differently than you. I ain't trying to be around everybody who think the same way that I do. That's boring as hell. I didn't even marry a man like that. My husband be driving me crazy, and I kind of like it. And I know he like it when I do it. So, hey.
Have content that they find entertaining and engaging and interesting, such that they want to keep using Twitter and use it more. So that's essential to the growth of the service.
And one of our employees asked about sort of people who use Twitter having the right and the ability to filter out content that they don't want to see. I think this gets to exactly what your point is.
Okay, so basically he's saying, you know, y'all, that it is what it is. Don't watch it if you don't like it. All right. So what do y'all think this means? This is going to have a ripple effect in the workplace. Today was the day between that Wall Street Journal article and this leaked. Whoever leaked this, that's hilarious. In this leaked video, those things happened today. The report comes out in a couple of weeks, and I think most folks are about 99% sure, most of the business folks are about 99% sure that we are going to be officially in a recession with 2, negative growth quarters in a row. Okay. So let's watch one more thing. It's 60 more seconds, and we're going to talk for another minute, and then I'm going to let y'all go. This is a continuation of what we were watching the other day. Actually, let me do this for y'all. Let me put this in I want to share this. If any of y'all want to go back and look at the Twitter, want to see it yourself, check it out. That's the Elon Musk one. Okay. Now, the other day we were watching this presentation, Patrick Bet-David's presentation, and he was talking about, the changes that are coming. And we only watched a little bit of it. Now, I wanted to share a really important part with y'all. So let's do it.
Some of the crypto is going to probably recover, but the precious metals may be something for you to look at. Protect your career. What I mean by protecting your career is the following. Whatever you're doing right now, recreate yourself today. Last 2 years, if you really improved, nobody noticed. Last 2 years, if you read a lot of books and you were the person that's sitting there taking courses and getting better and going to things, events and conferences, nobody noticed.
Right.
Nobody noticed because people who didn't do that made money. So the market's like, oh, wow, look how smart that guy is. But you were working on yourself. Nobody noticed. But today, if you work on yourself to recreate yourself in your company, with the way you show up, with your attitude, with being a person that's showing up, leading, working hard, improving, challenging your peers, setting the right example, constantly getting better, reading, bringing new ideas, bringing strategies, everyone's going to take notice the next 2 years. This is your season. The people that are in that mode of wanting to improve themselves, the next 2 years are your season. The last 2 years were not your season, just so you know. Number 8, take a time.
All right. So when he's saying your season, it means for those of us that were continuing to work on ourselves, the harvest is coming, right? Because in downtimes, a lot of crazy things happen. A lot of people get wiped out, but a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but some people are what? They're elevated, right? So I'm challenging you ladies to take a good, hard, honest look at where you are today, career-wise and life-wise. So how are you doing in your career? Do you think that you are performing at an exceptional level, at a high level? Do you think that, when the reductions in force events come into the companies, meaning they fire, 10% of the company, they release 10% of the company, do you think you will still be there when they shutter a whole entire part of the organization, diversity, equity, and inclusion, or whatever they do? Would you still be there? Or were you a beneficiary of the easy money season? And if you were, it's okay. But it means that you need to be thinking, not just thinking, but taking action. What are you going to do to secure your position now? Same thing socially. Like I said the other day, you cannot do this life alone. And when things get tough, you damn sure cannot do it alone. You need more people. You need help. You need friends. You need support. If you need love, then say it and be honest with yourself about your needs. It's time to be real honest with yourself, because otherwise you're going to be in a precarious position, not just financially, but spiritually, ladies. So I am doing something for my ladies who already did my business analyst career program or my Microsoft career program. I'm going to do another office hour soon. And we're going to have a private session on, how, where you are. We're just going to do a round robin, a group coaching session. So if you're enrolled in either one of those programs, you'll get a Zoom link soon. It probably will be like late next week or early the week after. But we're gonna talk about this behind the scenes, complimentary to you for being in the program. If you are not in the program, I am offering 20% off, even on your payment plan, for either one of the career development programs. You can use Move Now for 20% off. Okay. Here we go. This is Microsoft Office Fundamentals for Newbies. So for those of y'all who have not, who would be more like kind of entry level or like junior level, this is for you. This is your course. This is your program. You will learn the skill set that you need to, here, I'll show you the scroll. You're going to learn the skill set you need to understand Microsoft Office and be a strong project coordinator or a strong executive admin. So you're going to learn Word, you're going to learn Excel, you're going to learn PowerPoint fundamentals, you're going to learn how to do presentations, you're going to learn how to talk to leadership. Now, let me tell you, I know everybody, and this is our arrogance, we think we can just Google something. Yes, you absolutely can Google how to do something in Word. You can absolutely Google how to do something in Excel. What you cannot learn is how to decipher those and decipher the data and decipher the information that are on those documents in a human way that relates to leadership, that makes you stand out. That is what this program is. That is what all my programs are, ladies. But, here's some subjects. Why knowing Microsoft Office is so important. How project coordinators and executive admins use Microsoft Office. And the pay is pretty good. And you can work remote. You can work remote in these roles. You still need to go in sometimes, but you can work remote a lot of times because you have a coordinator or admin position, right? I even talk about assertive communication practices at work, when to pick up the phone, when to email, when to schedule an in-person meeting, and what to say. Nobody teaches that, right? You cannot Google that. Oh, I'm sorry. You can Google it and you'll get 25 different instructions from people you don't know, who don't care, and just trying to get their name in an article. You also get to see resume tips, sample resume. Oh, I also have work samples in here. So you'll see work samples in Excel and work samples in PowerPoint in this program. I do 2 different modules on interview tips, what hiring managers looking for. I used to be a vice president in a bank. I know what hiring managers are looking for because I was a hiring manager. Also, how to start off strong your first 30 days on the job, because what did we see in that Wall Street Journal article? Last one in, first one out, meaning new hires get fired first in a recession if they're not top performers. If you come in your first 30 days and you are kicking ass, you will not get cut. They'll say, you know what? This new girl, the girl got it going on. So this is what you learn. I do not have the Facebook group anymore, but we will do in office hours. But yeah, you'll have all these modules, and you'll have an ability to talk to me during the office hours. So, I'll put the link in here. You can go to MicrosoftFundamentals.com. That's my website. It'll forward you to this one. Or I'll put it in the chat as well. Once again, 20% off, even if you get a payment plan. I have a bi-weekly payment plan for you ladies because I understand what's going on right now. Next up, for you ladies who are past the junior role and you're ready to get into leadership, get on the leadership track, that is what my software business analysis program is for. It's called the Career Alchemy and Business Analyst Skill Mastery Program. So this is a doozy. So I'm going to show you real quick what you will see. I'll be teaching a lot of things, and you can look at this page yourself and see if you, let me see. I don't know why. I don't know if Facebook is not letting me post it or whatever. You might have to go on YouTube to see it in chat. I think YouTube kicked me off. I don't know what's going on. I think Facebook kicked me off, but I'm still on YouTube. So anyway, you can go on here and you can see the scroll as well. You can see just what's in the syllabus, what's in the program. But look at this. I remember when I did this, one of the ladies who was in the program said the first week alone paid for the course. Corporate politics are inevitable. Sorry, ladies, that module was a game changer because it helped the ladies get out of their feelings. We got to get out of our feelings if we want to win. Next up, creating that professional polish, knowing and communicating your value. Appearance matters. How to look good. You need to have, a polished appearance. You don't have to be looking like no supermodel or nothing like that. This one was a huge one. Overcoming the imposter syndrome. What I wish I would have known about career advancement rules, the unspoken rules, the things that people smile in your face and never tell you and let you be sitting there looking crazy at work, and you be talking big and bad and get fired. Module 4, cool under pressure, how to manage meetings. Now, module 5, this is the big one. Accepting the truth, hiding a dagger behind a smile, managing jackasses, catty women, and difficult stakeholders. Number 6, this is when we get to technical skills. I do the mindset first and the skill set second, because you have to get ready, because you have to be a powerful communicator to be a powerful business analyst and get on a leadership track. This is where you learn about the software project team, roles and responsibilities, success metrics, and characteristics. Then I teach you the language of business analysis and project management. A lot of business analysts move into project management. I am a certified project management professional, certified PMP. It's a great certification, but I started off as a business analyst. I was a very strong BA and I loved it. And it helped me be an even stronger project manager, program manager, product manager, vice president. Module 8, documentation and communication, how you need to run a discovery session, a RACI matrix, powerful questions you need to ask. Next up, eliciting requirements and creating a business requirements document. This is your flagship document as a business analyst. You need to have it tight. How to identify project stages and deliverables, reverse engineering data elements and business rules with interface analysis. We look at a website and we reverse engineer the elements and put them into a spreadsheet. Well, I do it for you and show you how you can write requirements from there. Identifying processes, creating process flows, and understanding the BRD structure. You need to take notes on that. You need to take notes on all of them, but that's probably one of the heavier ones. And if you need to do a follow-up session on that, I can help you with that. Module 10, how to start expanding your BA skill set at your current job. There are certain elements in your current role that you probably could leverage into a BA position. Now we have to think about what that is. I would have to sit down and kind of think about, what your day-to-day is, but I discussed that, and you can sit down and do your own analysis of what that is, and go ahead and start honing those skills so you can put it on your resume and get that role. Next up, getting the job. We look at strong BA resumes and how to interview like an excellent business analyst. The undeniable power of networking. And then I have a lot of some office hours recordings for the modules, which were also very good. So if you have like questions, it's good to listen to those office hours. They would help you because you can just kind of see how people get coached on the spot as well. Learn how to abide by the rules of engagement, enjoy the ride, and get that money. So ladies, if you are tired of just thinking about leveling up your life in your career, or you have realized that some of the social media narratives of I'm just going to be feminine and shop and lay back is not really productive and is not going to help you when this shit gets tight, you need to be in one of these programs. If you have any questions, you can email me at hello@exceptionalwomanschool. If you have any questions about the programs, or if you want to do like a resume revamp or interview prep consult, we can do those too. But ladies, you got to get serious. You cannot play right now. This is an opportunity time. It's a scary time, but it's also a time of huge opportunity. And as I wrap up, let me share one more thing, and that is a little article on my blog saying maybe women play too much. I'm going to put this in the chat. I'm talking in this article about what we do as women, how we procrastinate in the stories we tell ourselves and drag our feet and leave our futures behind us. So I'm encouraging you, if you need a little push, check this out. Because honestly, it's not time to play, right? It's not time to play. It's time to get serious. It's time to prepare for what's coming. You can have a wonderful life, but you need to be prepared. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to prepare you. That's why I made these 2 programs. You can do it. Okay. So I hope you learned a lot today. I hope that you learned some things that you can, bring into conversation. I just hope this was helpful for you today. And if it was, let me know. Okay. And if you would like to see more like this, let me know. All right, ladies, I'm going to go to bed. Oh, actually, I got to work on a contract and then I got to go to bed. I got a big push this week for my family business. You are welcome, Denisha. All right, y'all be good. Get you some rest. Take care. I will talk to you soon. Bye.